Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you a profit update on the KuCoin lending program that allows me to loan out USDT and a variety of other coins, but in this case, I did loan USDT and I've actually earned passive income in the form of interest on those loans. So if we jump over here to my KuCoin account, and under my main account I can click on lend, and that will take me to the lending program through KuCoin, where you can actually configure the loans based on your requirements. And if you missed the video where I actually did that configuration, I will leave a link in the description down below so you can check out the how to basically set up these loans. But with that being said, you might also want to shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. Now for this particular application, I was lending out USDT that I had available in my main account, and when I configured this feature, I had two options. I had basically an auto lend, and the other one is basically manually configure, and right now you can see the auto lend is enabled, and it eventually actually ended up overriding my manual lend. When those loans came due, were paid off, it just automatically started lending out those funds based on my auto lend parameters, which I had already set similar to the manual lend. Now again, you can check out that video in the description down below. This video is intended as a profit update, so let's get into the weeds of the actual profit. For starters, you can see I currently have some open orders. When I deployed these loans, the interest rate was ranging at about 0.099% for a daily interest rate, which equates to around a 36% annualized interest rate. And right now you can see the daily interest rate is more in line with around 0.079 or 0.08%. So that's closer to around 30% annualized rate. Now, I challenge you to go into your local bank and basically deposit money with them, which they'll in turn lend out, and have them pay you anywhere near a 28 to 30% annual rate. They'll more than likely look at you like you're a crazy person. And so now that the rates have dropped a little, I do have some open loans that have not been filled, and they'll basically stay open until the rates come back into the area I'm willing to lend at, and that's the 0.099%. Now if I click over here on unsettled, these are the loans that I still have outstanding and earning interest. You can see I have a 503 USDT loan, and it has currently earned just about 3 USDT or $3. And that is actually at the daily interest rate of 0.117%. And so that is actually quite a bit above the 0.099%. So I think that's going to be closer to around 42% that I'm actually earning on this particular loan. And it's just a 7-day term, and it expires November 2nd, which is about 2 or 3 days from now. And you can see I actually had terms of 7 or 14 days, so people could do either or. My total reserved amount now is 1,000 USDT, and my minimum daily rate was the 0.099%. So what actually ended up happening here were the rates were a lot higher than my minimum, and therefore I was able to lend out at an even higher rate. So to me, that's a big perk, that the fact that this will lend out at the highest rate available at the time. And you can see the other loans, just a $47 loan. And the daily interest rate on that is still higher than my minimum of 0.1%. And it's a 14-day loan that expires November 7th. And so that's about 9 or 10 days out. Now jumping over here to the next tab is settled. Now these represent the loans that have been repaid and I've actually earned interest on, and I have captured that profit as basically realized profit. And you can see the first one right here was 1,004 USDT loan, and I earned just over 4 USDT or $4 on this particular loan, and the interest rate on that was 1.26%. So again, well over that 40% annualized interest rate. And the term was 14 days, and there's a little I behind that, and you can see that the borrower actually repaid this loan in advance. So they didn't even hold the loan for the 14 days. However, they did hold it long enough that I actually earned just over 4 USDT. Now right below that, I think it might be the same individual, took the loan at a higher rate. I think they closed this out almost immediately, and then they opened up the 14-day loan instead of the 7-day loan, and they got a little better interest rate, but not a lot better interest rate. And then there's a couple $40 loans. Here's a 1,000 USDT loan that I earned almost $4 on at 0.1 interest rate, which again is going to be in the high probably 30s. And it was a 7-day loan. And all these loans that have an I next to the terms, they all paid early, so they can actually repay their loan early. Now this individual, where you don't see this little information bubble, this particular loan did run the full term of 7 days. However, it was for only 10 USDT. And so people do actually borrow a pretty low sum. So if you only had a few dollars to work with, you can actually loan it out and earn some passive income. Now, if we jump over to the second page, you'll see a lot more smaller loans, 16, 7, 15, 10, another 7, some 40s. There's a 329, and some let the loans run to term. I find the smaller loans seem to let them run to term, and then some of the bigger loans like this 329 USDT loan did pay off early. Nonetheless, however long they hold the loan for, I'm earning interest at the minimum 0.099% rate or the going rate at the time they open the loan. Now, if we jump over to the last page of my settled loans, there were a few $500 loans, and that's actually how I started this out, was a $500 manual and the $500 auto lend. Eventually, as people repaid the $500 manual loan, it actually got put into the auto lend pool and started automatically lending out. So I think in reality, the auto lend for me would be the way to go rather than manually configuring each independent loan, because once the money hits my main account again, if I don't have auto lend on, I would have to go back in and then reset up a new loan structure. And in reality, I might miss a few days before I get around to doing that. So auto lend for me would be ideal. However, with that being said, you do have to be aware if you send money into your main account, it could immediately become a loan, because that auto lend, if your rate is one of the lower rates, it will just automatically lend it out, and those funds that you just sent to KuCoin, maybe for trading, actually end up in the lend pool and end up as a loan. And that actually did happen to me, and I actually had to wait for some of those funds to free up before I could transfer them over to my trading account. So in the future, I'm now aware of that, and you are aware of that as well. And then the last tab across the top here is actually your order history, and that will show you when the loans were actually executed. Now, if I scroll back up and go to my lendings, this is kind of a snapshot of the funds I actually have available over in their lending program. And right now, I actually have lending orders of just over 666 USDT. And I currently have actual borrowers borrowing 550 USDT. And so that's just over 1,000 USDT. And my realized profit so far is just over 19 USDT. And I've had these loans available to borrowers for just about 14 days, maybe 15 days. So in reality, I've earned just about 1.9% on my funds based on approximately 1,000 USD. Now, in reality, for a very short period of time, when I had transferred over some extra funds to my KuCoin account and it got swept into the lending program, I think at one point I had over 2,000 USDT available. So this number is not really truly based on 1,000 USDT, but that is what I now currently have essentially available for lending. And one thing I have noticed is these realized profits do end up compounding and end up adding to the amount of funds available to borrowers, so you can earn interest on top of your realized profit. So that's essentially compounding your profit. And in addition to the 19 USDT, I have just about 3 USDT of accrued interest that will be paid once the loan term ends or the borrower repays the loan. And so in reality, I'm looking more like 22 to 23 USDT. And so going forward, I'm going to try to keep this balance around 1,000 USDT and any additional interest income for the compounding factor, and do updated profit reports to try to narrow down what I'm actually earning on this lend program. So now would actually be a good time again to shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss future updates. And with that being said, I think that pretty much wraps up this update. So if you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. If you have any questions, drop those in the comment section down below. I will drop a link to KuCoin and that configuration video in the description down below. So in closing, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.